Hello and welcome to another edition of Spotlight on Jackson County. And again, I have my old buddy, Kenny Flanagan, in the studio. Kenny, we got a lot going on in the county.
Absolutely, absolutely. I always enjoy being on Channel 7 and getting the word out. And we're doing great. We're like every 3 weeks now. It's like a recurring dinner lunch date thing. It's very
really. I missed the dinner and the lunch.
Well, you missed but besides that, the conversation. The conversation is like that.
Yeah,
Speaking of conversation, I apologize for the little bit of a summer cold thing going on here. I'm going to fight through it.
You know, they probably wouldn't have known that if you hadn't brought it up.
Well, I'm going to do it because you never know when the big sneeze is going to come. So
have
the director on standby in case the big sneeze comes up.
Right.
And
Josh, when that happens, slow-mo it and we'll watch what.
Let's just see what comes out. That would be lovely. Have you ever noticed, like during like the World Series, a guy will steal like second base and they'll go in for the close-up, and inevitably when they go in for the close-up, that's when he feels that's the perfect time, you know, to clean out the entire sinus passages that he has there. I don't know what it is about running from first base to second base on a steal, but apparently you have to clean out everything. Right, and then, you know, it's on national television. National television.
And you heard that right here.
Watch that. Watch that.
You heard that right here.
That will happen this summer on a National League game. I guarantee you. The Braves.
Don't forget it. Your buddy Kenny Flanagan tells you about cleaning out your sinus passages.
I don't know. Something about the run from first to second on a steal. You gotta clean it all.
We're not going to talk about what happens when you go to third, though.
No. We're not going over that.
All right, let's get serious. All right, we're about to start building a county services complex.
Very, very close. Very, very close. Downtown Pascagoula, Doug. Let me tell you the sound you're going to hear starting in July in downtown Pascagoula, and you're going to hear it for the next 60 straight days. And that is the sound of a pile driver. Literally, downtown Pascagoula, starting in July, probably about mid-July, maybe late July, will be rocking. For the next 60 days. The good news is the county received its last permit from the city of Pascagoula in June this month, and we are now proceeding forward with the construction of the new county services complex. Now, there's going to be a big ceremony coming up right now. If you drive by the property, you'll see there's a tremendous amount of foundation dirt work being done. The area's been, you know, roped off with the construction fencing. But one area that you're going to probably see even before all the real foundation work starts is you're going to start to see all the building supplies, all the equipment, all of that's going to start being pre-positioned here right after July 4th, which is good news. But it does have a bit of a downside, and that is going to be towards parking in downtown Pascagoula, which is already tight. And I mean, we all know that it's already tight, especially on days like a jury day, big court day, something to that effect. It's already tight. It is going to get tighter. The whole area kind of south of what everybody kind of calls the new courthouse, the courts building, kind of just to the side of the EOC. A lot of overflow parking goes there right now, Doug. And it's been, you know, it's kind of been the go-to spot. And some of it's parking in a field and a little bit of gravel. All of that's going to start getting taken. Is going to start being filled with construction materials. For example, the new county services complex, Doug, is going to sit on top of more than 800 concrete pilings.
800.
It's hard to imagine. They're 70 foot long, and 30 feet of them or 40 feet of them are going to be in the ground, and the other 30 feet is above the ground, and then we put the foundation on top of that and build the services complex. 800. Those have got to go somewhere before they go in the ground. And the plan is to kind of deliver them, put them in the ground in relatively short order, because we don't have enough room to stockpile 800 already. So there's going to be a pretty steady supply starting in July of trucks coming in, dropping these things off. So we know parking is going to be tight, and we do apologize for that. There's just no way around it right now. The good news is once we start doing the pile driving, it goes for 60 straight days on the calendar, Doug. It will be every day for 60 straight days.
That's going to rattle downtown
I
Pascagoula.
mean, it is
going
to
to
be
shake
rocking.
everything.
It's going to be rocking. It's going to what's going to be going on. But there will be some parking concerns. Sheriff Byrd, very alert of the situation, and he is already making arrangements right now with our circuit clerk, Joe Martin. We do know that we have a couple big jury trials coming up in July and August, and we're sending out notices to those prospective jury members of, hey, there's going to be a parking problem, and we're working out a system of we're going to try to put them in a spot a little bit further away from the courthouse and then kind of bust them into the courthouse for days where they have to do jury work. We're going to contact each one of them personally and kind of work all that out. We are recommending right now, if you are thinking to yourself, all right, I'm going to need to pay my car tag in July, mid-July, something like that, or I've got major business in the courthouse in August, we're trying to let you know as early as possible. There is parking in downtown Pascagoula. It's just you got to walk a little bit. There's a little hidden kind of parking lot behind Scranton's that a lot of people forget about as you drive around. There is a considerable parking lot on the other side of the Chamber of Commerce, on the other side of the track center. Granted, there's some Navy folks and the chambers on one end, but there is usually, several dozen parking spots available there. There's a lot of parallel parking in downtown Pascagoula, and yeah, it is more convenient to go to one of the parking lots, but it's going to be important that we all practice our parallel parking skills here. We get through it. It is the price of construction, unfortunately, and so anyway, we're going to let people know as much as we can about it. We do have a big ceremony coming up for the official construction ceremony commencement ceremony. We're still working out all the details. We're going to wait to try to get those first test pilings in the ground on that, Doug, and we should be doing our test pilings for the new county services complex sometime right after July 4th. And I talked to the architect last week about it, and things are moving ahead very nicely. A lot of groundwork's actually already been done. Sewer lines have already been put in, water lines have already been put in, and then the construction fencing itself is gone up. Anyway, I know that's a lot. You want to jump in on any of that?
No, man. I just hope they don't hit any oil when they're putting those pilings in there. We got enough of that going on right now.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Now, what's going to be located in this county services complex?
Well, me for one.
That's all we needed to know.
Right there. You got a little dab right there. Excuse me. Right there. So, see, right there. I'm glad I got that early notice in there. Did you get that in slow-mo?
Got it.
Good. We still have about 120 county employees working out at the fairgrounds. I'm being one of them, and we're working out of the FEMA classrooms they brought in about 4 years ago. So we're all going to move in there. There's a couple other departments that are going to be kind of reconnected and brought back in together over there. For example, our archives department. We've got a really nice kind of temporary location set up for them right now, Miss Lois, and over at the old Aminette building. The extension service office and everything is located on Aminette Street. But once we get the building constructed, we're going to move some of those departments out of the Aminette Street complex, and we're going to move them back into the new county services complex. The offices that you've always known that are going to be in the old courthouse, like the tax collector's office and circuit clerk's office, they're going to stay there. The Joes will stay in the old courthouse. So we're going to keep them there.
Joe's place.
The Joe's place is just fine. Joe's place is just fine. But it's going to be a number of people. Altogether, square footage is going to be somewhere like 60,000 square feet, 66,000 square feet. I don't know if we've locked down the final number yet, or if I've heard the final number, but it's going to be somewhere in there. It's a large complex. It's going to be, when you factor in this, it's going to be totally raised one story, and then you have the working story, and then we're kind of have the third kind of half story, 2.5 stories. So it's going to be kind of like 2.5 stories tall, 3 stories tall, depending on where you measure from. It's going to be a big complex.
And it's going to be under over 800 pilings, which are going to shake everything down there for a while. I mean, I've been around that before, and it gets a little low. Boom,
yeah.
Boom, boom,
yes.
boom, 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 all day long.
All day long.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't stop.
The sound of progress, Doug. That's what it is. The sound of progress.
Sound of progress.
Anyway, so letting you know here, I'll have some more details when I come back on the show. Maybe later in July, I'll have some more details for you about it, and we'll get you a little bit more of a detailed time frame. But just let everybody know, parking in July and August is going to be tight in downtown Pascagoula, and we were sorry about that. We're going to get it. We're going to try to get through it as quickly as possible. Total time on the project's about 18 months of construction from beginning to end, and that clock is already ticking.
So, just July and August, you're going to have a tight parking problem?
That will be
the entire 18 months.
Probably the entire 18 months, but the worst will be when we're doing the concrete pilings, because there'll be a lot of traffic coming in and out, bringing those pilings in and out, and the storing of that. So that'll probably be your most congested.
And it's tight to get a truck with an 80-foot piling. 70-foot piling on it, maneuvering on those little roads down there. It's not going to be easy. Maybe we'll get some video of that and show you just how wonderful that's going to be.
So anyway.
The piling is going to be a little repetitive video, but the getting them in and out would be the fun part.
It'll always be fun. Always be fun.
We got about 3 minutes left in this segment.
Okay, buddy.
And let's get started on the new emergency alert system that y'all are going to be instituting.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. And this is something that's brand new. In fact, it is days away, just days away. We should have it activated by the end of this week. And what we're looking at here, it's a brand new major upgrade to our ability to send out emergency alerts. So let's say, for example, Doug, there is some sort of a hazmat spill on I-10, or an industrial accident, or a wildfire, which is possible in the summertime here if things dry out. We've had a lot of rain, which has been good. But let's say you have one of these unexpected, very urgent matters. You just can't rely on the news media. Somebody might be outside not watching television. You need a way to be able to contact them directly. And this new emergency notification system, it's called First Call, allows us to do several different things. It gives us all new capacity. Number one, we'll still have the capacity to call land-based traditional business phone numbers. And we would call, and it would be a voicemail. And it would say, hey, look, this urgent situation has occurred in your neighborhood or just up the street from you. You need to either take shelter or evacuate, whatever. We'll have that. We've had that ability for years. But what we now also have with this system is, while those phone calls are going out, and it can place hundreds of phone calls at a time, Doug, it'll also be sending out text messages and emails to all registered cell phones, online accounts, smartphones, anything that can receive a digital device, mobile devices, and it'll be sending that at the same time. So we'll be able to catch people at their homes, at their businesses, but if they're out in the yard, they got the cell phone on them, or, there's a lot of folks now also who are choosing to have a cell phone instead of a home phone.
Right.
Very, very popular option right now. And I'm not saying one way is better or another, but when you're thinking about for emergency crisis communication, you don't want to miss somebody because they just have chosen a cell phone over the traditional landline. This system allows us to reach them. What we're asking folks to do is to think about registering for this. All of the land-based phone numbers, all your traditional phone numbers, everything in the phone book, already been programmed into the system. All of those numbers are already in. Business, local, all of those numbers are already in. If you're interested in registering for this process, you're going to go to the county's website, and we have a like a 2-minute documentation, little form to fill out, and you can register email addresses, you can register cell phones. All of that is possible. We're just days away from having that registration process available. And when we get it all officially set up, Doug, I'll come back on the show and I'm going to bring you the form and I'll show you exactly how to do it. It is really, really simple. And I know probably what you're thinking. Oh, it sounds great, but people, when you say, I got to register my cell phone's number, you kind of cringe a little bit and you think about no call list. This stuff is being registered through the county. It will not be used for any type of solicitation. It won't be sold to a third party. It is strictly only going to be used for emergency communication, and includes email addresses and that type of thing. It is for the county's use only, and we're only going to use it for emergency notification. That's its only purpose. That's the only way it'll be registered. It's not going into some other database that can be shared or emailed or anything to that effect. And it won't have any personal information. It'll just have contact information for us to be able to send you out a text message, an email, or the voice message, depending on your system. And you just got to have to say, Doug, if you already have a landline like most of us do, like your home in Gaucher, you can get an extra one. Each household has an unlimited amount of numbers that you can register for that physical address. So you can put your cell phone number in there, you can put your smartphone number in there, all of that's available. So we're right at the edge of having this, we're doing tests right now on the website to make sure we can have it all available. And as soon as I get that, I'll come back on the show and I'll give you the email address, exactly where you want to go, and we'll get you set up.
Kenny, we're going to take a short break.
Okay, sure.
We'll be right back with more Spotlight on Jackson County right after this.
See either location of Pond Mart in Moss Point or Pascagoula. Pond Mart will buy your scrap gold, even broken. Pond Mart, Main Street in Moss Point next to Title Loans and Check Advance, and South Market Street next to McGregor Rents.
Welcome back to Spotlight on Jackson County. We're continuing our conversation with my old buddy Kenny Flanagan from the Jackson County Board of Supervisors. He's the communications or public information officer, and we were talking about the new EAS system.
Yeah, that's right.
And soon they'll be able to go to the website.
Yep.
And they'll be able to register as many phones as they want.
Yep, and including unlisted lines. And so, like, so say you've always had an unlisted line that's not in the phone book. You can put that in there as well. It still will be unlisted, but it'll be available for emergency notification. Or maybe a lot of folks have a second line or a business line, something like that in the house, and they just don't list it in the phone book and everything. You can list this for emergency notification. And the way a traditional phone line would work is a voicemail will come through, and it'll be recorded by somebody from our emergency operation office, probably Donald Langle, more than likely one of the staff members has been trained. And the great thing about this system, Doug, is it's not just an office-based system. Let's say an incident occurs and it looks like it's just a minor hazmat spill on I-10, but Don Langham and Terry Jackson, our EA guys, they get out there and they realize, oh, this is a big deal. They can do an update through the first call system on the scene, and they can do it by phone, they can do it by internet. They've got all these redundancy systems in there, and they can let that area know. Another thing that's really versatile and nice about this system is it can do everybody in a zip code, it could do everybody in a neighborhood, or it could just do somebody on one street. It has that availability to really pinpoint down to where the emergency is, the proximity of the emergency. And they use a geo mapping system the county has to be able to lock down, and it'll pull up all the phone numbers that are listed for the physical addresses there. So all the business phone numbers that are listed in the phone book, all of those will be pulled up, plus any additional numbers that you register through the county's website will be there as well, your cell phone and the email addresses like we talked about. And, and this technology, it's used by other mass communication messages, but this system allows us to bridge all of it together, the voicemails and the local phone systems, which we've had that ability for a while, plus all of the new stuff. And really the push got behind it is when more and more people started going towards having cell phones as their primary phone lines, we realized we've got to do something to make sure we can address them. This is not, no system's perfect, but this is another tool in our communication bag, and we're really excited about the potential. Doug, as well as anybody, in an emergency time, is there anything more important than time, getting the message out urgently, quickly?
No.
I mean, it really is. It's the beginning of the process.
Timely information is vital.
It's vital. And we really feel like this system is going to give us that ability to reach people faster and help that response get to the people who need to hear it. And so as soon as we get the website locked down, we're just days away from it, you'll be able to go on to several spots on our website and be able to link right onto it and register yourself. And the form, the way that has been shown to me, the way I've tested it out, I mean literally 2 minutes to put it in there. You put your cell phone number in there, the physical address you wanted to be connected with that cell phone number, and you're set. That's it.
And the cell phone numbers and any number you put in there is held private by the county.
That's
and
right.
It's not publicized or sold in any way.
That's right. Absolutely.
Nobody has anything to worry about as far as worrying about who's going to get their information.
That's right. That's right.
Not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere. And totally free too, Doug. Totally free. Service being provided by the county, totally free to our residents. So if anybody calls and tells you they're going to give you a setup fee, you'll know that's just bogus, and because it's a totally free system, and it applies for throughout the county. This is not just an unincorporated system that we're putting in. The Board of Supervisors decided we wanted to do it throughout the county, and so if there was something that happened in Ocean Springs, we'd be more than happy to send out an emergency notice for something like that over there. And it's got more than just uses beyond just emergencies. For example, let's say you had a missing senior citizen, maybe with Alzheimer's, something like that. We could send out that message. A controlled burn. message could be sent out to a certain area, and be able to pinpoint that little area. So it's got more than just emergency applications to it. It also has some law enforcement capabilities to it, and we're very pleased to be able to announce this, and we're just days away from the system being up and running.
So you know how much rail traffic goes through here, and you know how much hazardous materials are on the rail cars. So if you're asleep at 2 o'clock in the morning,
that's right,
and there's a rail car accident, and you've got this cloud of ammonia gas running around, I mean, they can call that area and go, hey,
that's a great
close
example.
all your windows, shut your air conditioner
Shelter
down,
in place. That's
shelter in place. Don't come out till you get another phone call saying it's safe.
Yep, and that's a great example of a way that it could be used very efficiently right now, and that's a great example.
And there'll be weather alerts. God forbid we get any kind of tropical system this year, or tornadoes, or any severe weather that could be approaching, let's say, Ocean Springs or somewhere.
It has those applications as well.
Applications as well. Fantastic. I highly recommend. I'm going to do it as soon as your website's up.
As soon as the website's running and everything.
We got a lot of phone numbers to put in there.
Yes, you do. and email addresses too. We'd love to have all those as well. And it's one of these things we want everyone to make themselves available to it. And it's totally free, and it's not mandatory. I don't want anybody thinking that this is some sort of a Big Brother program and the county's requiring you to. You're not required to do it. This is, you register what you want to be registered. Now your home and your business number, and if it's listed in the phone book, we do have that one already in there.
That's great. Now we got a picture here.
Picture
something
time.
that's going on at Lake Mars.
Picture time. Yes, changing gears here a little bit.
There we go.
There it is, right there. Lake Mars Pier, and you know it's kind of a stylish photo. That was a nice day to be out on the water and whatnot. But if you look at the very end of the photo there, Doug, past the gentleman fishing, you'll notice the whole south end of Lake Mars Pier is nothing but pilings, and that might make for a nice photo for foreground and background, but that is not very good for fishing. And that whole area, the whole south end of the pier was ripped off during Hurricane Gustav, and the damages were made worse during Hurricane Ida. Remember that crazy November hurricane we had last year? That was kind of nutty. If you look at the photo to the left and to the right, you'll also see, especially on the handrails, the pier is not exactly level. We've got some undulations on the side.
I like that word, Kenny, undulation.
Thank you. Don't ask me to spell it, but it's a fun word to say. And so when you look a little closer at the photo, you can tell there are some areas where Lake Mars Pier needs to be replaced. Starting yesterday, crews started positioning the equipment and the materials that we need to start working on Lake Mars Pier. So starting yesterday, the pier was officially closed down for major repairs and renovations, and we're going to get all the lighting repaired. We're going to get the south end of the pier there, as you can tell, repaired. Any pilings that need to be replaced, we're going to do those if we're going to repair them. The photo itself was actually taken by, you can kind of see that the dark column underneath the pavilion. Half of the pavilion was taken off by Hurricane Gustav. We're going to repair that as well. It's going to be a really nice project once we get it done. A lot of folks don't realize the Lake Mars Pier in Gulf Park Estates is one of our most popular piers and fishing spots in Jackson County. We've left it open since the damage. We've had to rope it off and shut down parts of it, but we knew we had to leave part of it open. The project is going to take several weeks to get done. It is a big project. We are asking boaters, we're going to leave the boat launches open for most of the time the pier is being under work. We are going to ask boaters, so please be careful of all the materials. We're going to have a number of wooden pilings and trucks and barges and all of that kind of stuff out there. So please be careful as you're taking your boats in and out of the water. There will be a point during the process, Doug, where we are going to have to shut down the boat launches as well as part of the repair process. We just need a little extra room for the barge and whatnot like that. We're still several weeks away from that, well past July 4th before we have to do anything like that. I'll let you know. We're going to try to keep the boat launches open throughout the summer, but we'll have to see kind of what the tides do and stuff like that. But I'll keep you updated on that one. But the pier itself, officially starting yesterday, is closed and will be closed for several more weeks as we kind of go through the process on that one. But I did have somebody ask this, is this oil related? No, this is not oil related. The pier is fine. The pier is fine from the oil. That's not a problem. This is something the MEMA money finally came through, and this project's being funded almost totally by MEMA funds, and we just had to wait for those to get approved. And that's the reason that project is starting now.
But you're going to get it fixed. It's going to be better.
Yep, absolutely. And you can fish on that puppy all year round. So that'll be done by the end of the year. And we're really looking forward to getting that restored.
Well, let's hope there's no reason for us not to be able to fish on
yes,
that.
That's right. That's right.
Next, Brittany Avenue.
Yeah. Boat launch.
Boat launch.
Brittany Avenue. Do you know where this one is, Doug? I'm going to test your Jackson County. There's a photo. I've even got a photo for you right there.
Well, you know.
Does that help any?
I'm going to flunk this test.
Okay. You don't want to take a guess? I'm going to give you a hint. It's on the very west side of the county. That is St. Martin Bayou that you're looking right there in the background.
Well, flunked the test. What can I say?
You know, this is one of our smaller boat launches, but it is well used and beloved by folks in the St. Martin community. It is right. It's not right on the Jackson County Harrison line, but it's pretty darn close to it. We closed down the boat launch on that one yesterday. This is a project we're very excited about. As you can see, there's only one launch right now. We're expanding it all the way to 2 boat launches. We're going to work on the entire parking lot area that you see there. We're going to improve the drainage on that. The piers that you see in the background right now, we're going to expand to those. We're going to put a pavilion out there. We're going to have a bait cleaning station, a fish cleaning station with running water. We're working on the bulkheads. It's about a $515,000 project being paid for entirely by state Tideland grant. So we're excited about that part of it, and it's going to be a really nice addition and renovation for the folks in St. Martin. It's a smaller boat launch, but it is well used in that community, and we're really hoping the folks in St. Martin will be able to enjoy it coming forward. The second boat launch will be installed in about 2 months. The total project with the additional parking lot work and the pavilion and the fish cleaning station, the bulkhead work, that'll take an additional 4 months. But we're going to try to get the boat launch itself opened up as quickly as possible. And it's a nice renovation project for the folks of St. Martin, and we hope they like it.
Sounds like the Board of Supervisors doing a lot of things for the citizens of Jackson County.
I know they're certainly trying. I know it is the citizens of Jackson County they're at the forefront of the board's decisions and mine every single board meeting, and it's nice to have these type of projects. You know, Doug, the phrase I live by is good policy makes good public relations, and our board they just make good policies, and it's easy to promote this type of stuff.
Well, it's great. Hey, we're at the end of the show, Henry.
Henry.
What did I say? Oh no, Kenny. Oh no.
Henry's a fine name though.
Oh yeah.
We love Henry.
Jackson County. Don't